Hello there guys, welcome back to another episode of E&Ftv, and today is another very exciting installment of the Edwards & Finn Hot Wings Challenge. You may remember LV from MD of the Zeta Group, where we actually are again today at the beautiful Zeta Hotel Townhouse Marylebone. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I got it right. And we're actually joined by LV's nomination, Alfred. Hello there, Alfred. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm good. So far, so good.
We've obviously been exchanging messages. You've actually flown to the UK for this, which I massively appreciate. And I've been really looking forward to doing this with you. And I just wanted to get a bit of how you're feeling before we get going.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, and thank you very much, LV, for accommodating and hosting us today this afternoon. Well, I'm actually feel very privileged to be here. Currently, I'm actually the CEO of a health tech company and a consultant in hospitality.
Yes.
So. Just a little bit about my background. I started off with a master's degree in economics. Started my career in internet, data, the tech world. And then after a few endeavors in fine art materials, consulting, risk management, I ended up in the hospitality industry, and I love it.
Oh, amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Just before we get into the episode, guys, don't forget to like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what your thoughts are on this down in the comments below. Before we get going, Alfred, we need to make sure that we've got our checklist done. So, do you have your napkins?
I do, indeed.
Got your napkins. Do you have your water? And I guarantee we're going to need this.
Sure.
We've got an extra bottle here. Do we have your milk? Yes.
Yes.
Do you have your wings?
Absolutely.
Yes. And do we have the sauces? Yes. Okay, so a bit about how this is going to work. There'll be 7 questions, 7 sauces, and 7 wings. The sauces will go from hot to hotter to hotter to really hot to unbelievably hot to ridiculously hot. And our job is to get through all of them in one piece and hopefully not have too many tears and runny noses and all the rest of it by the end of it. Without further ado, Alfred, let's get on with the Edwards & Finn Hot Wings Challenge. So the first sauce is the original habanero pepper sauce from Helendia's. There we go. So, if I do a quick demonstration, you'll see there's about that much on there. All right, so there you are, sir.
Thank you very much.
Hold on to the lid
there
for
we
the time
go.
being.
Whoa.
And we've got full wings on this occasion, guys. So we're actually going to I'm not expecting you to finish the whole wing, Alfred, please.
Well, bon appetit.
But give it a good go. Bon appetit. My compliments to the chef. It's got a bit of a kick. It's got a bit of a kick, but I know that you're good with spice, as I know that you enjoy a good Indonesian restaurant. So it should be okay. So, Alfred, your first question. Can you give us a snapshot of your career to date, and what's been your proudest moment?
Well, where would you like me to start? I mean, just at the beginning, or like the more hospitality-related part of it?
Yeah, I'd say where it really first started for you in terms of your passion for the industry, and where you really sort of got going, where you saw your feet sort of landed, I suppose.
Well, actually, I used to be, a long time ago, export manager for the smallest multinational company of the Netherlands, which is a producer of fine art materials.
Okay.
And it's a niche market, but we were number 2 worldwide, and we exported to over 50 countries. So I spent a lot of time in hotels, traveling. And I absolutely loved it. I love to travel, but I also love the hotel experience. And I still remember the places I visited and the people I engaged with.
Sure.
So at some stage, I got approached by a headhunter asking me, would you like to join a hospitality operations company?
Right.
And I thought, why not?
Absolutely.
Because I spend on average 200 nights a year in hotels.
I remember you saying that.
Where are we talking about? The client of the client, which is the guest, basically. So I was the guest, and based from a guest experience, I could pretty much tell you whether it works or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose what brought you to where you are now?
Actually, when I entered this industry, I started to get more engaged. I started to love it. I started to talk to hospitality schools. I started to get into all kind of events. And when you're in that little, it's a small world after all, you get asked for different roles, different things to do. And that's where I actually am now, doing many different things. Hospitality related, not so much hospitality related, but I think there's a piece of hospitality in every part of this world.
I'd probably agree with that. And I suppose your proudest moment?
The proudest moment is that when I graduated from university, that I traveled around the world with a backpack for about 7.5 months.
Amazing. I'm telling my son at the moment that he needs to really consider that.
I didn't have money, but I told my dad I have time and I can use the experience for the rest of my life, which is I would say an investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
He bought into that,
absolutely.
Fortunately.
And do you think that's actually had a big impact in the way that you see things now and where things have gone for you in your life? Do you feel like that traveling set you up for that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think life is also a journey.
Yes.
And during my trip of 7 months, I never knew where I was going to stay the next night. So what I wanted to say is there's no benchmark.
Yes.
It's either good or bad. But there was never a sort of expectation. Of course, you think, okay, you end up there, it might look like this and that, but at the end of the day, it still looks different.
Absolutely.
So when you like it, you stay a night longer. When you don't like it, you move on. And this is actually, this applies to life in general and a job in particular as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. If it's not working or you're not fully fulfilled, you just move on.
You just move on. Which I did also a number of times in my career.
Moving on then. Next wing. So I'm going to move this one out of the way. We're now moving towards a habanero mustard from the same brand, Melinda's. Okay, here we go. So, this one's got like a bit of a top on it. So I'm going to douse mine there. There you are, sir.
Oh, wow.
This has got a distinctive yellow look to it.
I would say so.
Perfect. Let me pop that wing.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Whoa. Bon appetit again.
Bon appetit.
Here we go.
There we go.
On to the next.
I kind of like it.
I love this one. I love that one a lot. I remember the last time we did this with LV, in fact. We got to this sauce and we both felt the same way, that this Melinda's habanero mustard, guys, is one to really watch out for. Okay, Alfred. So the next question for you is, what key developments have you seen in the world of high tech and high touch? And what do you believe the future holds for this space?
Well, I've seen many developments, especially in the high tech arena.
Sure.
Which is due to of course, the technical developments at large in the world. But also the need to work more efficiently. Because labor costs are getting higher, but there's also a lack of staff, generally speaking. So if you would like to deliver the same kind of service to your guest without compromising on quality and stuff, you need to work in a more clever way.
Yes.
So hence there's a number of enhancements, and of course you could differentiate between the customer-facing technology and more the kind of a back-of-the-house technology. So the back-of-the-house mainly focused at improving internal processes, workflow management, those kind of things, and the guest-facing part is more on, okay, how do you offer a truly genuine digital guest journey from end to end? Which I think has not yet happened. I mean, there's a number of companies that are working on it, but there's some way to go.
What do you think the future holds for this space then? Where do you think it's heading? Because from a lot of conversations I'm having with industry at the moment, what we're trying to find is that balance between, because you're absolutely right, there is that lack, well, we spoke about this off camera, but we don't quite believe there's a lack of talent out there, but the industry is sort of saying we have a lack of talent, but in that space, then obviously tech needs to come in and support where needed. But what we don't want is there to be a compromise in the guest experience for the sake of the tech advancement.
Exactly.
Where does that balance really sit, and what do you see the future holds for that space?
Well, to be quite honest to you, I'm a high-touch person.
Sure.
I like to deliver, go the extra mile to make someone happy, to really differentiate the product, the solution, the hospitality space from another spot.
Yes.
So that you get recurring customers, which creates loyalty, which saves you also a lot of cost in the whole marketing experience, those kind of things.
Yeah.
What I think is that hoteliers should more do reversed engineering. What do I mean? Is start with the end in mind. Okay, which service, which solution, which product would you like to deliver to the guest? And then work backwards to figure out, okay, what do I need to do in terms of tech infrastructure, ecosystem to make that work?
Right.
And there should always be a plan B. In case it doesn't work, you should always have a backup solution available. To be quite honest with you, I think most of the technology, especially the PMS systems, is getting better now, but a lot of stuff is still very old-fashioned.
Right.
And it's all patchwork. It's all with interfaces and stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I think there's time for a more comprehensive, integrated approach.
And I suppose from a hospitality and hotelier perspective, how do you think this advancement in that tech space is going to help them ultimately?
It helps them, let's say, eliminate friction in processes and eliminate all actions that don't add to the guest satisfaction or to the operational efficiency.
It's sort of, rather than adding more complications, it's about
eliminating stuff, steps, try to eliminate the friction. But on the other hand, you should very much balance the high tech and high touch environment in order to avoid becoming a commodity as a hotel or as a product.
Absolutely.
You should definitely know exactly where your touch points are, where your USPs are, and how you would like to present them to your clients.
And again, it's not about replacing that talent with a tech solution. It's about them both working seamlessly together, ultimately to increase satisfaction and guest experience.
Exactly.
That's got to be it, right? You said yourself, when you looked at, when you're traveling, if you weren't happy with a certain location, you just moved on. The last thing you want is your guest to be feeling the same way as, well, this isn't what I expected. This isn't what the experience I was expecting. Next time, I'm just going to go somewhere else. That's the last thing anyone wants.
Or you should, as a hotelier or as a hospitality professional, very clearly identify what you offer. And then, for example, I used to work a lot with Citizen hotels. They have only one room type with one bed type, and it's either take it or leave it. And of course, we had sometimes guests checking in, like two colleagues, who thought they would be able to separate the beds. And it was like, no, then you need to book another room. Okay, fair enough. So you can't do everything for anyone. But on the other hand, you should communicate that very clearly so that people can make a choice.
Absolutely. Well, moving on to the next source.
There we go.
Here we go. So the next one is the Jamaican style hot pepper sauce.
Whoa, sounds very exotic.
I was going to say, we're moving through to a different part of the world, that's for sure. So let me lather this guy up. There we go.
Thank you.
There you are, sir. I did sort of give this one a smell earlier, and it smells potent. Let's put it like that. Right.
Okay.
Going through this journey together here, Alfred.
Yes. We're in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
What do you think?
I think at first it's okay, and I don't know if you can feel it, but it's starting to creep to the back of my tongue and the back of my throat, and that's where it's really sitting right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love the. Yep. Okay. So, this is actually a perfect question for where we were just talking about. You've traveled the world. I went onto your Instagram profile for complete transparency, and I saw that you've traveled much of the world, in fact. Probably through leisure, but also a lot of what you do in business. And I wondered, is there a special destination that holds a place in your heart, and why?
Definitely. Well, the first destination that comes up into my mind is Jordan.
Oh wow!
And
okay.
Why? Not so much for the scenery and the country as such, but for the people.
Amazing. Okay.
Tell us more. These people are so friendly, genuinely friendly, that you almost think,
why?
when are they going to ask the next question? Like, okay, the quid pro quo kind of situation we are very much used to in the Western world.
Yeah.
But these people don't ask these questions.
Sure.
They are just so genuinely friendly and so happy to show you around and to share experiences with you.
Yeah.
That I was like flabbergasted. I was so impressed. And still, I meet these people every now again on trade fairs and other occasions. And we are now in completely different businesses.
Right.
But we still meet for dinner.
Connect.
We exchange thoughts. We connect. And well, this actually also relates to what we discussed before, is that people, the impression people give you as a host is what lasts longest, in my perception. And that applies very much to Jordan as a country.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. Again, it's one of those where, with somebody so well traveled, I always find that question so interesting because you have seen much of the world. And there must be those memories or times that just take you back, sort of like a song that comes on and it immediately takes you back, or a certain meal.
Yes,
it's one of those where a certain destination for somebody like yourself might just hold that special place, and Jordan is that place.
And it's pretty much always the experience.
Yeah,
it's never the color of the rental car or maybe the quality of the badge. You could argue about that, but that's not what lasts longest. I mean, it's the personal engagement that makes the difference.
Yeah, and have you gone back just on a personal basis to see people again and things like that, or has it generally been on business where you've been able to combine the two?
No, my initial visit was a business visit, but we became friends.
Oh, wow.
And of course, since then, it didn't really matter what we... And on the other hand, it works also for business purposes, because if I need someone in my business, I contact them.
Yes.
They recommend someone, but they also act as a sort of a filter to make sure that they don't introduce the wrong people to you, because then our friendship might be in jeopardy.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a very natural way of leveraging your network without compromising on quality of the network.
Absolutely. Wow. Jordan, there you go, everybody. Moving on to the next source. This is where, Alfred, I'm going to be completely honest with you, we are going to be stepping it up a little bit.
Good.
So the next four, we've got Scotch bonnet, we then go on to scorpion pepper, then it's ghost pepper, and then Carolina Reaper. So these have been our little aperitif, if you like.
Okay.
We're now moving through to the entree or the main course.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're going to be starting with the Scotch bonnet. Okay. Now, again, from anyone that doesn't know the Scotch bonnet, we are going actually back to Jamaica for this one. There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Very sillily, it comes out quite quick. So I've got.
Very liquid.
If anyone saw that come out just then, it's a bit of a nightmare. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Still okay. Bit of fruitiness there, but it's certainly... You can certainly feel it now. What are your thoughts on the Scotch bonnet?
Yeah, it has a particular taste.
Yeah.
But it's not bad at all. I mean, I kind of like it.
Good. Okay, fine. Then I feel like you're going to be much better at this as we get into the later sources, because this one's already staying with me. Okay.
It does, actually.
I'm glad you said that. Right. What are your thoughts on hotel operation design versus design?
Well, to put it very bluntly, I'm Dutch. I'm not blunt. I'm direct.
Love
I'm going to
Okay.
elaborate on this. I think there is a big disconnect between designers and architects on one side and the operational people on the other side.
Okay.
Something is developed by an architect or a designer with a certain vision or a briefing in mind. But I think the operational people get involved way too late in the process.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, they need to work with something that's suboptimal. It's not working in many, and that's from a guest journey perspective, but that's also from an operational efficiency perspective. I've seen so many things being designed that don't work in real life.
Sure.
Or cause an extra effort to either maintain it, clean it.
Right.
And I think you should keep in mind, especially if you're in an operations, all the extra handling you need to do. It's all recurring time. It's recurring cost.
Yeah.
And that's a big burden, and people don't realize that.
And I suppose, so in what environments have you seen this more specifically? Obviously not naming brands, but what direct experience have you had in that space, and what have you seen in its development, I suppose, to almost mitigate those issues?
Well, I would say the fabrics of upholstery, of room design, that it's nice if you select that for your personal or for your own home. Yeah. But in a hotel, there's hundreds of different people using it. Yeah. They might spill some coffee on it or a glass of wine. You need to clean it very quickly. It needs to look, it needs to age nicely.
Sure.
But also from a hotel room design, especially bathrooms and stuff, things are not on the right spot where you as a guest by intuition would like to find them. Yes. And also from a housekeeping perspective, some things are just very difficult to replace, like linen. You should think about, okay, how do we find a way to do that in a very efficient way, and saving time, saving money, but also make it easier for the housekeeping staff. Right. So that they don't have a lot of psychical strains.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting, because again, coming from my perspective, purely as a guest, you never think about those things. You just think it's I mean, the environment that we're in right now, a very eclectic, quirky mix that the Zeta group always offer and are very consistent with. It's almost sort of a counterbalance there of it's consistently quirky. Mm-hmm. There's a play there. But it's one of those things where how much thought goes into that element of design and how much thought goes into that. We as guests just see it as it's just a sofa, or it's just a bed, or it's just the linen, or it's whatever. Yeah. Whereas there are whole teams, whole businesses dedicated to this very subject. And you don't think about that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. But I think I'm a very big fan of the Japanese design ethics, because everything has a function. Okay. And if it hasn't a function, it's just not there.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's a bit of a minimalistic design, but on the other hand, I very much like it.
Yeah. Getting
if
rid
it
of
doesn't add value, leave it. Forget about it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Moving on to the next source then.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. So
we're already halfway through.
We're doing brilliantly well. So the next one is the scorpion pepper. Now, my experience with this one on a number of Hot Wings episodes has been that this one, and I don't mean to exaggerate here at all, feels like needles on your tongue and your lips and your gums and everything in between. So this one is slightly interesting in the fact that it's absolutely horrible.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Of course, there may be people out there that think the scorpion pepper is absolutely delicious. I can't imagine who they would
like
be.
to recommend it in case people would like to buy it.
It's not one that I would run to. Let me put it like that. So no. Right, here we go, sir. Okay.
Good.
Bottoms
ready?
up. Ready? Let's go. That one's immediate.
It's like a good wine. It's just it takes a little while before it really kicks in.
That's if that's a good wine. Oh, yeah. I haven't missed that one. I have not missed that one at all. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, what was your biggest learning over the last 5 years?
The biggest learning is just
to not do this again.
No, that's for sure.
I'm glad you went for the milk. There we go.
I might need some more. Oh my goodness, this is
the scorpion.
This is harsh.
Yeah, the scorpion pepper. It sets the scene for the next for the last two. Okay.
No, what I learned during the last 5 years is being resilient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of course, 5 years ago, back in 2019, the world looked pretty much okay.
Yeah.
Everyone in hospitality was talking about what's next.
Yeah, investment, all sorts.
Next can this dream last forever? Now, well, we all know the answer.
Yeah.
And yeah, what I learned, especially during COVID and in the aftermath, is that you need to be resilient. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to make sure that you have a plan B. You can adapt yourself. You can use your skills in different ways. And I think that's also why I'm a big advocate of starting your career in hospitality. Once you have this experience, you can use it pretty much in every other industry, which I did to a certain extent, in order to be successful. And you are way more resilient than pretty much anyone else.
Yeah.
So how nice is that?
I completely agree with that. The something that keeps coming up is the barrier to entry into hospitality is so low. So anyone can get into it. It doesn't matter what background you've got. But the other beautiful thing that somebody noted to me, and I didn't think about this before, in a hotel, you have almost every job that you can think of, from maintenance, housekeeping, bar staff, waiters, through to marketing, sales, revenue management,
finance.
You've got everything and all and above. Then you've got leadership and all sorts of other things, collaboration. There's nothing like being on a property and feeling the camaraderie that comes with those people that are, when it's all hands on deck, when that busload of tourists come to the hotel and all the bags need to be taken to rooms and everyone has to get involved from every department. There's very few places that have that same feel. And you're right, that they will make you into the person that you, or the professional that you can see going forward, and pretty much allow you to go into any other walk of life that you look for. So I that's really resonated with me.
That's for sure. I mean, and you meet also people from all walks of life, from all different countries.
Yeah.
You learn about cultures, habits, behavior, from good to bad and from strange to normal. But it's the school of life.
Yes.
And I think there's no other industry whatsoever that could give you such a crash course in life, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Professional life.
Well, yes. No, very good. I like that one. Okay. We're moving forward. Here we go.
Two to go.
2 to go, and the 2 worst ones of them all. So this one is ghost pepper. So I'm gonna go for that.
Where did you get that from?
This one was actually sent as a gift to the show, believe it or not.
My good friend.
By a good friend, exactly. So yes, ghost pepper. One of the harshest and worst ones out there. And I actually remember, LV, if you've got this far in this episode, this was where LV's wall really hit. Because we could almost not even taste the Carolina Reaper after this one.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I was going to say prepare yourself. I'm going to do the same actually, because I know that this one hurts. Prepare yourself. We're almost at the end. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Well, what I very much appreciate about the UK is that the food is always so healthy.
I have to say, a massive thank you. I don't know why I've decided to do this.
For our friends from the Zetter.
The Zeta group, yeah. Thank you so much to the whole team at the Zeta for allowing us to be here today again, preparing such a fantastic feast, and allowing us in this most beautiful place. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to the team. Thank you to LV. It's a real privilege to be here, and Alfred, of course. Oh. Okay, so without further ado, Alfred, what is a comfort meal to you, and why? So is there a particular meal that holds a very special place in your heart from maybe childhood, or something that brings back the most amazing memories, and why is that? Oh my God.
And there is indeed.
Yeah.
It's a nasi goreng special, which is fried rice special from Indonesia.
Yes.
I mean, I mentioned Jordan earlier on in the program, but Indonesia has always a special place in my heart. I visited Indonesia during my world trip, and I went back ever since.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to live in the Netherlands, where we have quite a large number of Indonesian restaurants of very high quality. So when I would like to have just a simple dish, comfort food with friends, with just a beer and a plate service, I always pick the nasi goreng special in an Amsterdam-based restaurant called Sama Sebo.
Oh, there you go, a bit of a shout out.
If you ever make it to Amsterdam, please have a plate of nasi goreng special at Bar Sama Sebo in the bodega, not in the restaurant, because they were annex, which is a restaurant, but yeah. I better keep talking, that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts when you stop, right? I got to admit, it was nasi goreng was my absolute go-to when I was traveling around Bali. We traveled to 4 different locations, and nasi goreng, of course, was just the go-to if you wanted something.
Are you okay?
I'm getting there. It was really filling. It was comforting. It tasted great, simple, and of course, it was cheap. So yeah,
I would say if every decent hotel would have a nasi goreng special on the room menu, or that would be great.
The bestseller every single time.
Sure.
Every single time. Oh God! Right. Okay.
Oh. Final challenge.
The final one, and I've literally got 2 napkins left.
Do you want some more?
No, I'm good. We'll get through it. My eyes are going like crazy. Right.
Good. There
Alfred.
we go.
Now this one comes out quick, so be careful.
Yep.
And it is thick, so you will see the chilies and everything else inside this.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody, so this is the Carolina Reaper sauce, the last one. Alfred, go right ahead.
Reaper hot sauce.
Oh.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Again, move some if you need to, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Last one.
Okay, there we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone that thinks that this is put on or that I exaggerate, there is nothing exaggerated here. My eyes are watering, my nose is running, my voice has changed. Alfred, how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I'm hanging in there. Oh my goodness.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Right. Your last question.
I've never enjoyed milk so much.
Me neither.
Oh.
It seems to be a relief. Okay, so last question, Alfred. The best advice you've ever been given, and who gave it to you?
Keep dreaming and keep walking. Given by my dad.
Oh, that's a good one.
He said, whatever happens, this will pass too. So just keep going and
keep
will be always.
Was it keep walking and keep dreaming, or keep dreaming and keep walking?
Keep dreaming and keep walking.
I like that. I like that. Cheers to your dad.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers to your dad.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Alfred, we've got through this together. This is the Edwards and Finn Hot Wings Challenge. We've made it to the end. I do have one more question for you.
Sure.
There isn't a sauce. There isn't a wing. I just have to get it out. Who, and please do tell the audience who you'd like to nominate to do the Edwards and Finn Hot Wings Challenge next.
Next, I would like to nominate a gentleman called Kees Zorge. He's the CEO of OmniBoost. OmniBoost is a company that aggregates all kind of data, PMS data, point of sale data into one central display.
Right.
And delivered excellent and quick reports. Actually, what I said, he makes sure that the process runs much smoother and much more quality data, which you need in order to run a hotel. So,
fantastic.
Kees, prepare yourself.
Kees, was that?
Kees.
Kees, I will be in touch. As Alfred said, prepare yourself. Alfred, thank you so much for taking the time, for flying all the way over here to do this. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, for the interesting conversation, and
it's been an experience.
And don't try this at home.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. We really do appreciate you. What I want to offer at the end of this episode is, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment in the comments down below your favorite hot sauce, and we will send you a bottle of the Carolina Reaper sauce, which is the hottest one of the lot. This particular bottle, I want to gift you, Alfred. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Treat with care. Treat with care.
I will.
And guys, my cameraman is laughing his head off. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. We'll see you in the next one. From everyone here at the Zeta Hotel in Marylebone, thank you. Bye-bye. That was hot.
That was hot. That was really,